Hey, I'm Johnny. This is 5 reasons INFJs are mistaken for extroverts. Stay tuned. Alright you guys, a couple quick things before I jump into the video today. Firstly, I'm using this microphone for another project, so I switched out the old microphone. The second thing I want to say is that this is open discussion, okay? So there are more than 5 reasons why INFJs might be mistaken for extroverts. These are just the 5 that came to mind today. I really would like to get your guys' thoughts on this. I think that this is a common thing that can happen with INFJs, so please be encouraged to share your perspective and your experiences in the comments. Thank you. Alright you guys, so the first reason INFJs are often mistaken for extroverts is because the combination of the top 2 cognitive functions of the INFJ can be confusing to people. Their dominant cognitive function is introverted intuition. Their auxiliary or second cognitive function is extroverted feeling. Introverted intuition in the dominant cognitive function slot is not very commonly seen in the general population, okay? INTJs and INFJs use dominant introverted intuition. Introverted intuition is about deep insight. It's about wanting to know what and why. INFJs have to know the meaning of things. Extroverted feeling, by contrast, is a very people-oriented, people-focused function. We absorb the emotions of other people. A lot of times INFJs do. We're aware of the emotional climate of those around us, right? And in general, you guys, the introverted cognitive functions, in my opinion, are not as easily seen as the extroverted cognitive functions. Just think about it, right? Introverted versus extroverted, right? What you're keeping within you versus what you're putting out there. Because introverted intuition is our dominant cognitive function and extroverted feeling is a very people-oriented function, and extroverted feeling is second in our stack, which means we're good at it, we're pretty strong at it, it's pretty well developed, right? People go from not really knowing what's going on with this introverted intuition and who is this guy, and he's kind of different. We don't really know what his thinking process is. This introverted intuition, it doesn't look like introverted thinking. It doesn't look like introverted sensing. It doesn't look like any of these other common introverted functions that we see more commonly in the population. It's kind of strange. What is it? It's a mystery to us. And then all of a sudden we wield our extroverted feeling and it's like, bam, okay, who is this? Where did this come from? And people think that we're extroverts because we are extroverting our feeling, because we're using that second cognitive function. So they're going from not recognizing or detecting at all that the introverted intuition in us because it's such a brooding function. It's such a mysterious function. It operates largely in the subconscious. We're going from introverted intuition to this easily recognizable, people-oriented, often warm, friendly, and exciting even cognitive function of extroverted feeling, and it's confusing to people. The second reason INFJs can be mistaken for extroverts is that INFJs are chameleons. When I say chameleons, what I mean by that is an INFJ can blend in their environment with anyone. So if you go to an event and everybody out there is partying and they're having fun and there's dancing going on everywhere, right? Yeah, you'll see an INFJ back in the corner sometime, just sitting down, perhaps mustering up their courage. But the next thing you know, they're out on the dance floor shaking it with everybody else. And that extroverted feeling plus their extroverted sensing is an action-oriented function. It's about living in the present moment, taking action, doing things, real time, this moment, the present moment. And INFJ can wield both of those, can use both of those cognitive functions and blend in with whoever they have around them. There are other introverted types that, in my opinion, would have a greater challenge in blending in or adapting to that situation than INFJs would. Again, because of the extroverted feeling, we are chameleons. As the INFJ song says, I can be whatever you need me to be and then some. Alright, you guys, so reasons 3 and 4 might surprise you, so check this out. The third reason INFJs are mistaken for extroverts is because extroverted tendencies and extroverted behaviors in an INFJ can be an indication of personal growth and personal development. INFJs are very introspective, we're perfectionistic, we are often goal-oriented, and most of the INFJs that I know are all or nothing, and we are either down in the dumps and depressed, or we're striving for excellence. And it is is that commitment to excellence that I have noticed in many INFJs, that if an INFJ is really on their game and they're working hard on themselves to cultivate and develop themselves and to achieve their goals, they will very oftentimes be mistaken for extroverts. I want to know in the comments, raise your hand if any of you out there have dealt with that, have noticed that. I'm really curious to know, have any of you out there ever been mistaken for, say, an ENFJ? It happens. If you aren't familiar with Personality Hacker, please visit their website. They have a fun personality test and tons of resources about INFJs. They have a podcast. I love Joel and Antonia Dodge. I've never met them. I don't know them personally, and I'm not plugging their channel for monetization or anything like that. They have been an awesome resource for me ever since I found out I was an INFJ several years ago. Check out personalityhacker.com. I highly recommend them. Personality Hacker has a video about INFJs on YouTube. I believe the video is called INFJ Wiring of the Mind. Check out that video if you haven't already. In that video, Personality Hacker says that, and this is so critical, check it out, that the highest leverage point of growth for a personality type is growing their auxiliary cognitive function. For INFJs, that's extroverted feeling. Personality Hacker also says that most personality types tend to have a reluctance to use that function, and that if they want to grow and if they want to improve, and indeed the highest leverage point of growth for the INFJ is to work on extroverted feeling. It's to work on all that extroverted feeling entails. So you guys, if an INFJ is working hard on themselves and they're setting goals and they tap into the power of extroverted feeling and get out of that NITI loop, the introverted intuition and the introverted thinking loop. We have videos about that on the channel. Check it out. People are going to mistake you for an extrovert. Okay, you guys, so check this out. The fourth reason INFJs are mistaken for extroverts is the exact opposite reason of reason number 3. INFJ, raise your hand if you were ever the guy or girl that couldn't say no, or you had to help somebody, right? You're in the group and you bought all the drinks for everybody, or you bought all the food for everybody, right? You couldn't say no. All your friends said, hey, let's go out, let's do this, and you couldn't say no. You set no boundaries. Or you were needy and you came up to somebody or you were really clingy and you called them a lot and you wouldn't leave them alone and give them space. If someone bullied you or put you down, you wouldn't stand up for yourself, right? INFJs who have very low boundaries can be mistaken for extroverts because we will often be out of character. Unhealthy or really immature INFJs who haven't worked on extroverted feeling can go from their normal introverted state of introverted intuition, being an INFJ, to suddenly acting out of character or acting out of turn in a highly irrational way that gives people this sudden burst of energy from the INFJ that is out of context to their normal behavior, and it's a violation of the INFJ's boundaries and possibly a violation of the boundaries of others. It's very common for particularly very young INFJs to just be really clingy and smothering and overbearing a lot of times with people and not knowing how to say no. I can easily see how that behavior that does not have proper boundaries could mistake the INFJ for being an extrovert when in fact they aren't. The fifth reason INFJs are mistaken for extroverts is that INFJs feel the pressure to be an extrovert. You guys, let's face it, okay? We live in an extroverted society. Society thrives on extroversion. Society thrives, in today's cutthroat business world, right? It's like you almost have to be an extrovert. You have to be cutthroat. You have to work your 16, 18 hours every single day and grind it out every day for a lot of people. Not all, right? But INFJs are aware of social norms. INFJs are aware of what's going on in their environment. INFJs are aware what the world expects of them. We're very tuned in to the social norms. We generally don't follow some of them, right? Even if we don't follow the social norms, and in fact, I think most INFJs sail their own course and go their own way. And I think that's good. I think INFJs should go against the grain. And I think society can assume that we're extroverts because we recognize the societal expectation for people to be extroverts in order to succeed, and INFJs sooner or later rise to the challenge. And so society often looks at that and says, well, they must be an extrovert. What are your reasons for being mistaken for an extrovert? I want to know all of it, you guys. All of these videos are open discussion, okay? I encourage open discussion, and I always read the comments. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll talk to you in the next video.